So Student Financial Aid Scheme NSFAS will exit its administration phase on December the 31st. The administration phase was for a period of 2 years and 6 months, which commenced in August 2018. So the outgoing NSFAS administrator, Dr Randall Carolissen, joins me now live. A very good evening to you, Doctor. Thanks indeed for your time. So it must have been quite, a mammoth task to turn things around at NSFAS.
Yes, I think that's actually an understatement, but it's been a challenge that I'm very glad I undertook because we are making a huge difference in so many people's lives. I mean, we're funding more than 700,000 students, and therefore NSFAS, to my mind, is a national asset which must be protected at all costs against anything that wants to harm it.
Yeah. Just to think up front, you and the new board and the CEO obviously would have to contend with large numbers for the 2021 academic year due to COVID-19. What are some of the other challenges that this new board and CEO will have to deal with up front as we also look at those numbers that are expected to be quite high?
That's quite an interesting question because this year our new applicants it's close to 900,000. Last year, same time, it was 450,000. And we can actually see the impact of COVID on our applications. So students that were previously able to fund themselves are now applying for NSFAS and they're halfway through their degree, you see. So we've had very, very long and hard planning and discussions with the minister about this expected increase in demand. And also the profile of students that are applying beyond what I've mentioned are also quite interesting. 68% of them are women. There's a large number of unemployed youth that are now applying for study assistance. And then, of course, our partnership with the Department of Social Development is paying huge dividends. So we are really reaching the poor now. And that is what NSFAS is all about.
And I think
but it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, Doctor, it's definitely going to be quite tough because if you have such a huge increase in the number of students that are going to need some kind of financial assistance, how is that demand going to be met? I hear you say you've already had discussions about this with the relevant individuals, but how are we going to be able to meet and ensure that all these students do get the necessary assistance?
Well, look, there at the moment, no disqualification for NSFAS students. So if you qualify for NSFAS and you get accepted at the university, then you are a NSFAS beneficiary. And at the moment, as we speak, we're funding 52% of all our higher education students. The jump last year was 20% in the university environment. So we will just have to find the money. However, I'm very happy to say that there's a large-scale recognition that this is an investment in the future of our country, and the future of our young people. And that, to me, is very heartening, coming from the highest levels in the country. Yeah. So I can't, of course, speak too much about it. I'm not the big decision maker. Yeah. I merely do the modeling and I present the results to them. But the fact of the matter is there is a recognition that this is not wasted money. This is very good investment in our country going forward. And in fact, we are steering students towards more scarce skills also as well to make sure that they find jobs at the end of the day.
Yeah. Dr. Carolissen, with this huge number, once again, I mean, I guess there's also a concern perhaps about, are you slightly re-looking at the way that NSFAS would be looking at, for example, students who otherwise would not have qualified, but due to circumstances, I mean, these are unprecedented times that we're in. Are you looking at this in a slightly different way as NSFAS to make sure that those who are now in need of this much needed financial assistance due to COVID-19 are accommodated somehow?
So basically, we are not messing around with policy because we've learned our lesson by implementing policy changes overnight that you just invite disaster. So what will happen is that students that previously were able to fund themselves have now dropped below the threshold for funding. So people have lost their jobs, so they now qualify legitimately so, and therefore they qualify as normal NSFAS beneficiaries. Over the longer term, we, of course, will have to look. There's still a large scale of missing middle students that are not being catered for at the moment. But we are not going to tamper with policy or seriously tamper with policy over the short term, because that will be disastrous for NSFAS and for the entire sector.
All right, we're fast running out of time, Doctor. I just recall last month, I think it was News 24 that had reported that you were under armed protection with your wife following allegations of mismanagement and nepotism that were made against you. This was according, of course, to that article. The union, now Howard, also wanted you fired. Do you still believe your life is still in danger at this point? I'd just like an update on that.
No, not really. I think the protection is assisting. I also would say on this program that you don't go in and change an organization that's placed under administration and that was in so much trouble without not stamping on people's toes. That's number one. And number two, now you can't change the organization and bring it back to the level of success that we hope that we've achieved by using the very same people that were causing the trouble. So we had to bring in experts, and that caused resentment. We shut down channels for corruption. That caused resentment. We shut down opportunities for commercial interest leveraging of our value chain. And so anybody would have been naive that it would have been a smooth journey. But I'm very happy with the progress. But of course, I would first venture to say that the success or not success of NSFAS is not for me to judge. It's for the students to judge, for the vice-chancellors and the general public.
So
I'm very confident.
Yeah, so Dr. Carolissen, are you still under armed guard?
Yes, we are, but we are, as I'm exiting, I'm actually becoming less important, I think. I hope.
All right. All right, thank you very much indeed. Thanks indeed for your time this evening. The outgoing NSFAS Administrator, Dr. Randall Carolissen, chatting to us this evening as NSFAS will exit its administration phase on December the 31st. Thanks indeed.